Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol, and this is Relationship Momentum. So today I have a reader question, and let's jump to it. Please expand upon the dual submissive, dual responsive deadlock. How do you break that without either party feeling unfulfilled? I know the LGBTQ community is much more aware of that and basically tries to seek out only complementary partners or have an open relationship so each person can find their better match in bed. However, heterosexuals don't seem to have this on their radar much, except maybe the kink world. Okay, so submissive and responsive. These are two of the 6 brands of sexuality. I'll leave a link below so you can watch that original video. But essentially I say submissives get the greatest pleasure out of being given direction in bed, and responsives get the greatest level of pleasure out of seeing their partner's response in bed. So if you have a mixture of submissive and responsives, often there is this sort of stalemate where each of them waits for the other person to do something. Alrighty, so LGBTQ, more aware. Yes, they are. Absolutely, they are more aware because they've had to bring their sexuality into conscious, rational thought to figure out what it is that they like, what it is that they want, what turns them on, what they want from a relationship. Because in order to come out and identify as such, they've had to think about this consciously. Whereas most heterosexuals don't necessarily think any of this through, and they can just think, you know, I just like the opposite sex and sex is going to be awesome. And then they get into a long-term relationship, they get into their marriage, and they've never really figured out necessarily what it was that they liked, what it was that really turns them on. And sometimes you discover that, hey, we're both submissives or we're both responsives. And, you know, when we first got together, we were just so turned on. Everything worked because we were making moves on each other. But now that we're sort of overwhelmed by kids and life and money and stress, that we start wanting our own particular brand of sexuality more and more and more. And when we don't get it, we get frustrated, and then we get mad, and then we get sad, and then we don't make a move, and then my partner is mad and sad and they don't make a move either. And then you both still love each other, you're both attracted to each other, you're both turned on by each other, and then you lie awake at night in bed going, oh, why don't they make the move? Why don't they make the move? You know what? I'm going to wait. Touching the mic. I'm going to wait until they make the move. And then like 4 months later goes by and they're like, no one's touching nobody. And it's like, this is a terrible, terrible plan. I think the answer really is exactly what you had in your question, that, you know, being conscious. I think that gay people have a far better idea of what turns them on and are far more expressive about it and far more relaxed about saying what works for them. So you kind of have to adopt some of that for your own relationship. You have to realize, okay, we just have this sort of soft barrier to our sexuality in terms of we just need to push through this little barrier to get to what we want. And that soft barrier for submissives is actually, you know, a little half step in the direction of being dominant, saying what you want, telling your partner what to do to you. That little soft barrier for responsives is getting through your own sort of inertia and going, you know what, if I just do what my partner really likes and really turns them on, once I'm through that, they're going to be turned on, and then that's what I'm going to enjoy. So it's just consciously admitting there's this little soft barrier. And when you're tired and exhausted and the relationship is not in a perfect place, that soft barrier can seem like a 20-foot tall, solid wall. And it stays like that if you decide to let it stay that way. The truth is, it's a soft barrier. You can just knock it down, get through the first couple of minutes of not necessarily being perfectly turned on, a couple of minutes of feeling frustrated, like, why do I have to tell them what I want? And just push through. And I think becoming conscious of it, if you can both become conscious of it, that can be really, really helpful. Because if you're submissive and they're submissive, sometimes you're just going to say, we got to take turns at this. I really love you and I know you love me and we're happy together, but sometimes we just got to take turns. You know, someone's got to take the lead. Someone's got to make the move. And it's the same if you're both responsive. Someone's got to make that first move, get it started, do what their partner likes, or act a little more turned on than you necessarily feel in the moment at the beginning. Hey, I'm really horny. Let's go do something. Let's, you know, I just want the thing about ba-dum. And then acting a little more turned on and a little more expressive for a minute or two to get the thing started and warmed up and your partner interested. This may be all it needs. Push through the soft barrier, get through that initial frustration, and then it's good. You know, it's not necessarily how you feel at the beginning of the sexual experience that is the benchmark of how good the sexual experience was. It can be frustrating at the beginning, and you can feel a whole lot better at the end. The other thing is, I think sometimes you only need these brands of sexuality fulfilled once in a while to sort of feel good and normal. Like if you're a submissive, you don't necessarily need to be on the receiving end of super dominant sex every single time. You may need this once in a while to feel fulfilled, but not necessarily every single time. So sometimes this turn-taking thing can be enough to get you what you want. I think we crave the things that we don't get. I think most of us are reasonably happy with reasonably vanilla sex for the most part, but we need our particular brand of sexuality to hit us reasonably strongly at least once in a while. So, okay to take turns, push through the soft barrier, get through that initial awkwardness, and then get to really enjoy the sex and for what it is and what you have. So, probably a long answer, probably not necessarily the perfect snap your fingers and 3 quick trips, 3 quick tips to make it all magically go away. You just got to take turns, push through the soft barrier. Anyway, that's about it. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good internet stuff. And I will talk to you tomorrow.